at the very beginning, and a lot of interested parties checking it out here. And we'll see Mahomes and Kelsey and company. But you got the story of Antonio Pierce, and big point for him today too.
Huge game for the coach. He's playing for his job, and if he wins here today, Jim, I think he might come back as the coach of the Raiders.
I could see it. Richie James on the return, and James bounces off a hit and puts up a nice return out near the 35 before he's shoved out by Masterson. Well, that's a nice little jolt to give this Chiefs offense a good starting point. Mahomes, look at this record since 2019. In the month of November or later, he's never lost a division game in that stretch. Wow. Pretty amazing. They've got Pacheco back in the backfield after missing a couple of games with a shoulder injury and a little cleanup on the surgery. And they start Christmas Day with a little running play to Pacheco. And he is met behind the line by Malcolm Koonce. Maybe they'll give him back to the line of scrimmage. But let's talk about this Kansas City offense that we touched on a little bit in the opening.
One of the big areas is they've lost a lot of close games with like just little mistakes. I mean, the drops we know about, the offside penalty against the Bills. I mean, there's just been too many self-inflicted wounds. And for Andy Reid to get his team to play at their best going into the playoffs, they have to eliminate those.
Here's a 2nd and 10. Mahomes, this is a busted play. That was some confusion in the backfield. And Crosby gets to put up a hit after all of that, and a headbutt to one of his teammates.
That was a perfectly timed blitz by Spillane, and it disrupted a draw. And Mahomes wisely keeps the ball in his hands and not creating a fumble. But this Raider defense has really come on since Antonio Pierce took over. He has them flying around, and they are trusting their eyes. And I think they're playing their best football of the year right now.
Absolutely, Patrick Graham, their D coordinator. Here's a 3rd and 12. Mahomes, pocket collapsing, and the ball comes out. I think that would have been a fumble, but he recovered it. His arm was not moving forward, so it was Adam Butler who got to him first, and that was not an impressive 3 plays in beginning for the Kansas City offense. Loss of 9 on this play.
The right side of that offensive line, the ball comes back a little funky, and then you see it trying to hold hands there. But Butler does a great job after the double team on Crosby.
I'll tell you, Mahomes did a good job of finding that football, because that did come out of his hand. That was a fumble. He was able to recover. Tommy Townsend called on the punt.
That was 3 fumbles. The play before, and then the snap, and then again at the end.
That's right. Back deep is Carter. Has it. Oh, he fumbles it. Got a teammate right there to fall on it, and he can't handle it. And coming back to get it is Carter. My goodness, what's going on here? You said 3 fumbles. We just had 2 more on that play.
I feel like we're watching Charlie Brown. The ball just keeps going, and Lucy's picking it up. Wow, what is on the football today?
Well, I tell you,
Christmas nerves.
Yeah, maybe.
That's it.
Maybe Linus and Lucy are in the house too. That was it's just been a mess. Let's see if this Raider offense can run error-free. O'Connell start at the 18 with Zamir White, the running back. Jacobs is inactive. He's out with that quad injury once again. It's White looking for a hole and drives and gets shoved for an extra yard by Munford. Give him 3.
And Aiden O'Connell played his best game as a professional last week. Made a lot of difficult throws. He made him look easy, but he's improving every game, each rep.
We got to
see if that continues today.
I know he was, in that first half, he was ablaze. Mike Edwards is down on the ground, and what is already a concern for the secondary for Kansas City. Brian Cook on IR, and Edwards, safety trying to step up. He's being tended to. We'll step aside. Safety. It's a 2nd and 6. And play action for O'Connell. And pressure. And he's going down. Chris Jones. Boy, it didn't take long to make his presence felt.
Didn't take long. And this is the one Guy, that's the game wrecker. Go ahead and watch right on the inside. Chris Jones comes flying. Boy, he is so disruptive, Jim. Over and over again, every week we see him playing at an incredibly high level, and he's on a one-year deal, and they need to sign him. He is a game changer.
8.5 sacks on the season. His play, because of double teams, has led to sacks for a lot of his teammates.
Yep.
3rd and 14, trying to set something up on a short pass, and there's nothing there, incomplete. So both teams 3 and out to begin.
And this was a screen pass, and the Chiefs snuffed it out right away, and both quarterbacks with a struggling first series as these defenses are flying around.
They got 2 returners back for Kansas City.
Ooh.
Montreal Washington.
Special play that sometimes means reverse. You can catch it and go over, fake the reverse.
Could be. Richie James is also, but Cole, the punter, has had an outstanding year. He's 2nd in the league in gross average at 51.5 yards per punt. Oh, something happened here, though. One hopper to James. And there's a flag down. He gets it to the 50. The flag is back at the line of scrimmage. After a 50-yard punt. 13-yard return.
Maybe not enough.
Illegal formation. Kicking team number 36 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty when he added to the end of the run. First down, Kansas City.
Yeah, and that penalty yardage will put.
They've lost more games than they probably should have.
Going on the run, pulled down. No, it's dropped right there. Kelsey this time. Oh, man, right off that specialty graphic. Just what we were talking about.
Well, you've got the gusty winds right now, and the football is still in Linus and Lucy's hands because that is a rarity for Kelsey.
Chiefs have not run a clean play yet.
Yeah, the ball, right?
I guess. Sloppy as can be. Ross is in the game on the near side. Number 8. We got somebody jumped, and they stopped the play. He tried to swing it over to Pacheco.
I think Kelsey moved just a little bit before the snap.
False start. Offense number 4. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Might have a couple of guys. Rice moved, called for it.
Yep. They got multiple guys. Rice and Kelsey both jumped. And like you said, Jim, very sloppy right now to start for this Kansas City offense.
They've run 7 total plays.
And none have been clean, just from start to finish.
Talking about both sides, and we've got minus 15 yards of offense by these teams total. Here's a 2nd and 15. Slides away from the pressure. Now it's going to keep it. And he's going to get back the 5 yards they lost on the penalty. Let's talk a little bit more, a little deeper look at this Raider defense with Crosby, of course, the headliner, and rightfully so.
This is such a rare thing. He's played 7 full games this year, Jim. I mean, literally, start to finish, has not come off the field. Nobody else in the NFL has more than 1 at the defensive end position. I mean, that's like playing all 48 minutes in basketball. Just unheard of.
3rd and 9. Looking, and he's going down again. We got a marker.
I honestly think they were offsides. I think there's a chance. Illegal formation on the Chiefs. Too many self-inflicted penalties.
Offsides. Offense number 11. The penalties decline. Brings up 4th down.
What? A Kansas City player offsides at Arrowhead? Never heard of it. Wait a minute. Maybe we have.
Oh, my goodness. See, they're asking the ref, did you tell him to move back? You have to look over at the ref. Every receiver out there, look over and make sure he tells you thumbs up, you're good, back up a little, move up.
You notice how often now we're seeing this ever since we were here for the Kadarius Toney debacle, and he was clearly offsides, but that Buffalo game a few weeks back, I'm seeing it all the time.
Yeah, and the rules are the rules.
Yep.
You got to enforce them.
Townsend, 2nd punt. A lot of hang time here. Wonderful bounce. He's going to be down at about the 6 or 7 yard line. 46 yards, pins him inside the 10. And how many memorable matchups they've had through the years. Twice a year. 1st and 10. And a good running play to get out of that hole with Zamir White. And for O'Connell today, Tony, this marks just his 8th career start in his rookie year, 4th round pick out of Purdue.
Yes, and I really had mentioned it earlier, just his improvement from each game. It just continues. It's like you're learning on the fly in each rep. You've seen it now a 2nd and 3rd time. But he knew this crowd noise was going to be a big issue today, and they practiced with not being able to speak indoors, so he's prepared.
2nd and 5, and they've got a 1st down. There's a 2nd straight great running play by White as the play kind of goes on and on. They shove him back, but that'll be a gain of 6 and a new set of downs. We've already seen Chris Jones make a play, make a sack, and he really is the guy that's the biggest difference maker on this defense, Tone.
No question. This is one of the best defenses the Chiefs have had in 20 years in a lot of categories, and it all starts with Chris Jones up front, but they're good on all 3 levels. Bolden, that linebacker, and then the secondary is playing outstanding ball this year, led by 38. Snead at the bottom of your screen, who will follow Adams most of the day.
There's Devontae right up against him, as you said. O'Connell gonna turn around and throw, and it's caught for a gain of about 6. That's Cole Fotheringham in his first NFL catch. Let's go down to Tracy.
Jim, Chief safety Mike Edwards remains out of this game. He took a hard shot to that right knee on the last drive. He did some stretching on the sideline. He's currently on the bike working through it, but I was told they're hopeful for him to get back out there.
And that can change things, Tony, right?
Very much so. It'll calm down a lot of the dime packages and the blitzes that Spagnuolo probably had ready going into this game.
2nd and 4, and Renfro has come into the game for the Raiders. And there's the catch for another 1st down to Devontae. Adams at the 28, 29 yard line. And Adams today just 32 yards coming in away from yet another 1,000-yard season.
It's a really good job by new offensive coordinator Bo Hardegree getting Devontae Adams inside versus the zone looks and allowing him to work in space in there and get Snead off of him. Snead playing as well as any corner in the National Football League this year.
Bo, who came out of Jackson, Tennessee, and played quarterback at the University of Tennessee. He went upstairs last week for the first time, and look at the results, the 63 points. Instead of being on the sideline, coming after him on 1st down, O'Connell's able to get it away. And it's caught by Hooper, who backpedals for a couple of extra yards. It'll give him 9. That was Chris Jones trying to zone in on a 2nd sack, but he didn't quite get there.
He did an outstanding job sliding in the pocket. Jones wins right away. But Parham just gets beat. And what a job by Aiden O'Connell. That is huge. That goes from a 2nd and 18 to a 2nd and 1. If you score on this drive, you can go right back to those moments. And that's what you need out of your quarterback, Jim, is to create those plays that could be a negative and turn them out to be okay.
He's connected with tight ends for 2 plays on this drive. There's a handoff to Tucker, who had a monster game against the Chargers. He's got a 1st down. So they've hit Fotheringham, they've hit Hooper, but they're today without Michael Mayer, their tight end, who is so promising out of Notre Dame. He's out with a toe injury. Not mistletoe. On Christmas, but mistletoe. He has been coming on. We saw him against the Patriots.
What a huge game for Antonio Pierce. And he got you fired up when we were talking to him, right? He has the pulse of this team. He's got them playing as hard as any team in the National Football League.
1st down. And again, fakes the handoff and fires it. Oh, what a pass. That was tough to thread, but he did it. He got Jacoby Myers, and he had to loft that just past Snead to get that catch for 14.
This was an unbelievable throw. Right behind Snead, who's coming in, and this is what I saw last week out of Aiden O'Connell, was just the high-level throws making look easy that the top quarterbacks do.
1st and 10. Oh, that pass almost intercepted. It was intended for Myers, but it came closer to going into the hands of Nick Bolton as Chris Jones again created problems in the backfield.
Yeah, the pressure's up on you and the ball's got to come out. They're going to have to double team Chris Jones. He is going to light up this offensive line, but this is miscommunication. Myers has an option route, Jim, where he can go in or out, and he fooled the quarterback. And that's lucky not to be an interception when you have pressure standing on you.
O'Connell, that was his first incompletion on this drive. He's hit 4 different receivers, and he's got a 2nd and 10. Down the middle. This time he's got Myers, and they connect for about 8. Set up 3rd and about 2. So O'Connell, Tony, this kid, we talked to him yesterday. He got drafted where he kind of thought he'd be drafted. He thought it might be the Raiders because they were the only ones that met with him at the combine. And they like what they've seen. He's happy to be a part of this organization.
I like what I've seen too. He has continually gotten better, which shows you his skill set. It's high, and you're seeing some of that play out right here.
The 63 points last week, the most ever put up by a rookie quarterback in league history. They've got another first down with Zamir White. Just again to note, Josh Jacobs is out again this week with the quad injury. They worked him out before the game, and he wasn't able to go. So Zamir has stepped up. He did so, as you see, Josh Jacobs, the rushing leader a year ago, but Zamir White in his 2nd year out of Georgia, he's looked good against the Chargers and here in the early going against Kansas City.
He has, and Jacobs has had a really good string of games against the Chiefs, averaging over 100 yards a game, so they're going to need some real output from that position if they're going to win.
Here's a 1st and 10. Fake the reverse, set up screen, and here they go with Jacoby Myers down to the 12-yard line. And this is, again, a drive that began all the way back at their own 7. That goes for 21, or 12.
What a great play call. Fake the handoff, fake the reverse, come back to a screen, and I thought he really had a shot to score here. Just doesn't quite get outside. Good job.
He's right the first time, gain of 21. First down at the 12. The drive has lasted over 6 minutes. Quickly to Tucker, and Snead is there, and to finish him off is Connor.
Great job by Snead to fake out Adams, who's trying to block him, and create the negative play.
This lost 4.
Yep, and this is a simple screen out there. Adams got to block him. No, Snead, who should be going to the Pro Bowl this year. Those two have a little rivalry.
Yeah, and you look at Snead's numbers. He's been targeted the most this year without giving up a touchdown. Most targets without surrendering one in the league.
And he follows the best players, and nobody has really gotten him.
That will put you in the Pro Bowl. That might get you all pro. 2nd and 14. Guns it. Tough catch, but it's made. Short gain to Hooper.
That was a great catch in the wind. It got a little bit of, right now there's some mist coming down and the wind. That's going to create some issues with the ball that we saw early in the game.
Yeah, the wind is blowing for the Raiders left to right at about 20. Got a flag down all the way back near the goal line.
There's 12 guys on the field, I think, for Kansas City.
12 men on defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
I was like, they're loading up the box and they're playing pass defense really well. Well, that's because they get an extra guy.
This kind of stuff you spot right away. Nothing gets past you on this.
Yes, if I could, 12 guys on the field there. Our telestrator is not up at the moment. There it is.
I don't know you wrote that so fast. That's
I'm
impressive.
very quick. I've got great penmanship, stenciling.
Yeah, that's calligraphy. 3rd and 5.
I don't know what that means. That was a big word.
Pump fake, and oh, what a stick by Snead, who's made a couple of plays down here in the last 3.
He actually took away Adams. Aiden was playing back and forth. Right there makes him pump and then comes flying up. And boy, what a gift to have a cornerback who can cover as well as anyone and tackle.
Abdullah takes the hit after picking up just 2, and they have to go Daniel Carlson.
That was an impressive drive, though, by the Raiders.
Yeah, it took up almost half the quarter. In fact, more than that. It's 8:40 and counting on this drive as they attempt this short kick. And a kick is good by Carlson. 24 yards in his career. And something's happened for the first time. First time at home, he's started a game with consecutive 3-and-outs.
Oh, wow.
Coming up to field it is James. And James taken down at the 25. It's bumpy at the beginning, sloppy, whatever you want to call it for Kansas City, Tony.
Yeah, the miscommunication, and then the sloppy ball handling and protection. And it's really been just a series of errors. Each individual, you see Kuntz get the sack to end the last drive, and they're just not quite in sync yet.
No, and it's an offense, by the way, without McKinnon, who's put on an IR because of a groin injury. Tony is out. He's on the inactive list today. Donovan Smith is also out. Here he turns around, gives it to Pacheco on a little toss. And again, the Raiders jump up with Hobbs and make the play behind the line.
That's an outstanding job by Hobbs. This is one area where Antonio Pierce, it stood out to me. Since he's taken over, they're 3rd in the NFL in points per game. And a big reason is they get eyes on the quarterback. And these Raider defenders are shooting as soon as they see whatever you do. He's given them the freedom to go, attack, trust your instincts. If you're wrong once, fine. But they are really attacking, Jim, and it's showing here today.
Well, if there's one thing we knew after yesterday, Pierce has this team ready to play. Here's the pass on 2nd and 16. That'll probably be the last play of the quarter. It'll go for 1.
And you see the rallying, tackling. They're keeping the cup guy inside, outside, one in the middle.
As Kelsey continues to jaw with some of those Raider defenders. It's a typical Raider Chiefs encounter. I'll tell you something that's atypical, though, as time's going to run out on this quarter. Total yardage for the Chiefs in the first quarter, hard to believe. Minus 18 yards.
Wow.
Frustrated? I would say they are.
We thought this would be a game coming in.
Nothing so far. Their first quarter yardage, fewest by a team in a game in 19 years. I say fewest, minus 18 yards, and there's another incompletion, but it got a flag out.
I think they're going to get 2 penalties here. Should give them a first down with a hold at the top after the Raiders jumped offside. And that could have been 3 straight 3-and-outs if the Raiders wouldn't have. But those are the worst penalties, by the way, on 3rd and long, Jim, when you do something silly and give them a first down.
There are 2 fouls against the defense. Holding, number 21. Neutral zone infraction, number 21, in neutral zone at the snap. Kansas City will choose to elect the holding foul, which is a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Here's something I thought also you'd never say about the Raiders this time. They actually, as they got hit with 2 flags on that one play, they are the least penalized team in the league.
Yeah.
That is not something that in the Raider history.
No, you remember all those years? They used to lead the league every year.
And proud of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that gives Kansas City, as you said, Tony, a first down. And they're coming after Mahomes.
Guess who?
Yep, it's Max. And he still knocked him to the ground after the incompletion. Taps him on the head.
Yeah, what a swim move.
Yeah.
On the rookie Morris. That's going to be a tough matchup. Look at the playoff picture here, Jim.
Yeah, right now Kansas City in the 3rd slot.
With a win today, though, that team right there,
Yep. Well,
they're not out of it.
No, let me give you this scenario, okay? If they were to win today and then win their next 2, so they close out at 9-8, and then if the Chiefs lost their next 2, so the Chiefs lose out, the Raiders win out, the Raiders would win the division. Wow. They have other wild card possibilities too, but those are slim. As there's the handoff to Pacheco, and he's met by Coons behind the line.
And you could see Antonio Pierce with the 5 turnovers last week. and then they held 3 points the week before. This defense is flying around. They play together. They all play hard, and they are fundamentally so sound right now, setting the edge, turning it back in, disruptive, and they're using their eyes, hand placement. It's impressive to watch them. They're playing as well as any defense in the league.
Got a 3rd and 13 as Edwards-Helaire has come in to the Kansas City backfield. Holmes is looking deep and now goes underneath. It's caught short of the sticks. It's Rice with the grab.
What a throw. People around his feet.
Yeah, Coons was around his feet. Yep, Coons was there.
He's going to be just short, but he's in.
Yeah, dragging that left foot, so well done, but the route wasn't deep enough. Had to come back for it.
And Rice has really come on. I mean, that right there, that was a good catch too, keeping it to the ground. But he's the one guy that has shown the ability to scare opponents just a little bit outside of Kelsey, and they really needed that this year, and I think it's really starting to take shape.
He's had 4 straight games with at least 7 catches, including 9 last week and a touchdown against New England. Here's Townsend. Well, that was a tough catch.
Ugh. Made
by Carter. Already mishandled one. 42-yard punt. Chiefs are out of sync on Paramount Plus all season long through Super Bowl 58, including next week's outstanding doubleheader. Try it for free today. That doubleheader next week, most of you are going to see Miami at Baltimore and then Cincinnati here at Kansas City. Wow. All right, Raiders kept it for 8:44 the last time they had it. They begin this drive with a little play action. O'Connell got time, and that's incomplete. Tight coverage.
And part of the
Mike
reason,
Edwards, by the way. Here's next gen stats powered by AWS.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason the game is hard for both these quarterbacks at different times is the defensive line and their dominant players. Crosby on this side, Chris Jones, who has gotten 3 pressures on 7 pass attempts, and you always like it as a quarterback when you see him to go stand on the sideline.
So Edwards, I mentioned that was in on that last play. He was the one covering Davante Adams, so they have him back.
Oh, I'm sorry, other side.
2nd and 10. Oh, the ball goes through the hands of Adams as Tranquil was on the coverage.
And that's just because of the interior pressure. Aiden O'Connell rushes it just a little, throws it behind. What a route by Adams. This was going to be a big play, at least 15, 20 yards.
Look at this, 1st downs, 1 for the Chiefs. That came by way of penalty.
You're going to have to find Chris Jones when you come up here. He's on the bottom of your screen. If you don't help and chip with a tight end or somebody, he's going to get there quickly. There you go.
3rd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Got it away, and incomplete double coverage down there on Davante. And they knocked him down. McDuffie, who was blitzing from the corner.
Watch McDuffie out here. He times these pressures extremely well. Very disruptive. Great cover corner, but outstanding as well when he blitzes.
So that drive, they went to Adams on all 3 plays, targeted all 3 times. All incompletions and good coverage. Well, the one pass bounced off his hands, was behind him a little bit on 2nd down. Here's Cole. And a fair catch at the 25 by James. 49-yard. Santa after a busy overnight. Let's go to Tracy.
Jim, we've seen the frustration from Patrick Mahomes over the last few games. We're seeing it again here early, and I can tell you after that drive, he came off the field, he was pacing back and forth, talking to himself, and then he went over to the offensive line, and he was fired up. He challenged them. He said, "You all dominate, we dominate." Before taking the field, he just screamed to his teammates, "Let's go."
Well, here they go with, again, the Raiders dominating the
line for the Raiders, and the interior 3 of this Chiefs offensive line are as good as any in the National Football League. The edges are a little suspect. game in and game out.
Got a Chiefs timeout.
You know what's funny is Jawan Taylor, the right tackle, has actually done really well against Crosby in his career. He's one of the rare guys who doesn't give up many pressures. And that was part of the reason Andy Reid went and signed him this offseason.
Yeah. By way of Jacksonville, yeah.
Exactly. You see Crosby got the pressure on the opposite side earlier. Right now matched up with him. Top of your screen right there.
2nd and 10. Here's Mahomes. Pass incomplete, intended for Valdez-Scantling. Patrick so far in this game is 3 for 6 for 6 yards.
And this is a little slip at the top. Scantling slipped and then he kind of rounds it. Mahomes misses him from behind. But the timing of it was just a little bit of slipping on the field that can throw that timing throw off.
That's 3rd down offense in the league and exceptional from 7+.
Mahomes uses his legs a lot in these situations.
Got a 3rd and 10, and they get another one on 3rd and long. This time it's Rice with the reception. So the trend, which is so incredibly high, almost 50%, they get one right here.
You get the motion across, see it's man-to-man, and Mahomes buys enough time to allow Rice to come across the field. And you can see the wind is creating issues with the accuracy, but when Mahomes throws it like that, it cuts right through it perfectly.
Yes, it did. Bore right through that wind. 15-yard pass play to Rice. Going to try to go up top again. Has to escape first. Going to use his legs. And he trots out of bounds after 6 or 7.
And Nichols was right on him. It's amazing when I watch some of these D linemen, the D tackles. Receivers are covered down the field. Mahomes wisely uses his legs, but then you got a big D tackle running you down and you're like, must go faster. Great job of passing that off right there. That's the communication. That's what they're doing so well right now, Jim, is complementary football.
Kelce not in on this play. Travis has been targeted once. Went through his hands, no catches. Here's a 2nd and 5 play. And Pacheco trying to find anything. It's just not there. As Diablo was one of those in that Raider group to bring him down after 2.
And that's a picket fence defense, we call it. Everyone stayed in their gap. They just created a fence right there on the O-line. So everywhere Pacheco was trying to find that little opening, there wasn't one. Very sound, fundamentally sound defense right now.
But Pacheco, 4 rushes, -1 yard. 2 catches for a loss of 5 yards. 3rd and 3. Little jump pass. It's James for the 1st down.
All the attention to Kelce motioning down, and Mahomes just makes that look easier than it actually should have been.
Here's
Kelce's
Kelce
coming, and watch all the attention when he goes down there. You see everyone's waiting for him in the middle, and he ended up coming wide open with the ball was gone. Two tight end set, possible play action, ding ding for the Chiefs.
on 1st down. They get Kelce the ball for the 1st time, and there he goes. Kelce still rumbling down to about the 22-yard line. He got a nice block from Noah Gray, and that's good for 24 yards.
Wow, you saw the juice. He caught that, he took off. Looking like a young Kelce right here, just boom, splits it, and then he gets that lean, and then finishes it off by going right downhill at him.
His 900th career reception.
And his wife loves it, I mean, girlfriend.
You've been down that road with that before?
Yes, I've caught a lot of passes in red
I know.
yards. 900 catches for me.
Here's 1st and 10. It's back to him.
Oh,
And he's got another 6.
he's starting to hulk up. The Hulkster's coming out.
Yeah.
All the Hulkamaniacs out there.
So suddenly things are starting to get in rhythm for him. What's happened here, Tone?
Well, you get the ball to Kelce, helps a lot, and then once he gets going like this, can see the best players, Crosby, him, Mahomes, Chris Jones, they can really carry a team at different moments.
Look at this little chat between Kelsey and Crosby, and they'll go back to Pacheco. And he spins around that hit to pick up the first down. Nice second effort.
It was a great job of displacing the D lineman by this offensive line, Trey Smith. I want you to watch the backside right over here with Crosby. Kelsey gets away. Actually, Bell with a little hold there, but that was really about Smith and Humphrey creating a huge hole early, and Pacheco finishes it. He's got always using the feet for the extra effort.
Yes, he is one of the best second effort guys I've seen.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
No quarterback.
Where are they going here? Come on back over, Isaiah.
Tyreek Hill? No, it's Pacheco.
Yeah. And now he's going to fake it to Mahomes. Pacheco trying to find it. He does. Touchdown. Found the end zone on the fake reverse.
This is the third team to score on this play the last couple weeks. The Bears brought it out a couple weeks back, and Andy Reid is not averse to seeing something that's really unique and using it. And boy, was that a great design play. And Pacheco showing off the little dance recital move.
Well, Coach Pierce told us yesterday he knows that Andy has one or two unexpected plays that he's going to throw at you. And that's one of them right there. Butker with the extra point. And the Chiefs finally get the engines revving. They go 74 yards in 10 plays to take the lead at the midway point of the second quarter. Week, their first touchdown was a little tiny pass from Jerick McKinnon. And this week it's a Pacheco direct snap. Fake the toss and reverse to Mahomes. 12 yards and a touchdown. Here's Butker. And that is a touchback for both 58. Snead was there to surprise him. Las Vegas starts this series with a little run off the right side for 3. Try.
And the weather outside is frightful.
I had you more like Dean Martin.
I'm a lot like Dean Martin.
There's a first down. Truck agrees with my assessment, by the way. There's a handoff to White. Goes for 8 and a first down.
You can see the push on this offensive line. You know, they're trailing 7-3. They've done a really good job of displacing some of the D linemen.
First down. And Noddy has his hands on White after about 2, maybe 3. The Chiefs played the Raiders back on November 26th and won out there 31-17. But they were down early in that game, 14-0. Kansas City was. And then again, flipped the switch. Mahomes threw just 2 yards shy of 300, a couple of touchdowns, no picks. And they won by 14.
It seems as though that's happening a lot, you know, with the Chiefs this year. They're just not coming out and dominating for full 4 quarters. But they figure out ways to get the W. Today will be a tough one, though. This Raiders team is ready, you can tell.
Here's a 2nd and 7. I'm looking for Adams. No flag. He's looking around to see if there is one, but again, it was Snead with the airtight coverage.
And we talked, this is a perfectly thrown ball. You can see the wind. Adams' head comes back, but Snead, Adams so good at pushing, going back, but really good tight coverage. Really a drop on Adams after a perfectly timed route.
Tell you what, Snead has had a big start to this game. Couple of tackles for a loss.
I mean, you're going against Adams, and they keep him on an island a lot, and that almost nobody does that.
There's a 3rd and 7. Trying to get the edge. Going to be a couple yards short. That was Abdullah. And it'll be 4th down, 4th and about 3. Pierce wastes no time bringing out the punting unit.
Well, that was a interesting play call on 3rd and 7. I think they really expected that look to be a hair different.
Well, if you thought this was going to be a game on Christmas Day with a lot of points, hasn't been a lot of points, but it's been a whole lot of coal. A.J. Cole.
Oh, wow. You got
Punting now. Once again, and this is a good one. Go out of bounds at about the 12 or 13. The distance the last time they had the football for their first touchdown of the game. Look at this. Ball's on the ground. Ball's on the ground. It's picked up by the Raiders. And they have a touchdown with Nichols. It was a direct snap that went wrong.
Mahomes definitely, it's supposed to be a handoff to Mahomes into a option or a pitch possibly, or you could keep it. And I think Pacheco was going to keep it, Mahomes thought. He was faking, and he goes, whoa, you're actually trying to give it to me? And the miscues continue. We showed it earlier, and what a huge play.
Wow, what an interesting turn of events here. A Raiders defense has scored 2 touchdowns in their last game and had 35 points off of turnovers against the Chargers. They come up with a gift. Carlson for the extra point. Most points off turnovers last week by a team in 10 years. And look at this little gaffe. Yep, this is another play going wrong.
We've seen this so many times, the football today. The wind and the slipperiness of it. I mean, this is about as many times I've seen the ball be slippery.
A lot of eggnog, maybe. Well, just a couple of mistakes. One of them cost the Raiders a point after, but the Chiefs gave them a Christmas gift of 6 on a botched play, bungled play. Bilal Nichols, playing in his 92nd career game, has his first NFL touchdown. And the Raiders take the lead at 9-7.
I mean, that's one D tackle. Last week, Jenkins had another fumble return to the house for a touchdown, so both D tackles getting in on the scoring action.
Carlson's kick. And back in the end zone, back out to the 25.
Jim, did you see? Watch this right here. Carlson's going to get, he fumbles it, and right here he's like, okay. And he's like, I don't want to kick this. No, Carlson, I'm not going to kick this.
That's going to go against my record.
Yes.
27 for 27 PATs this year.
Yeah. Cole's like, kick it. I got it down. He's like, well, I don't want to do it from there. I really thought he could have just taken the little chip shot kick.
Mahomes throws, and he's picked off. And this one's going back for a touchdown. 2 steps, 2 defensive touchdowns, and it's Jack Jones who had a pick 6 last week.
Unbelievable. You just called it. Last week, pick 6 comes back against Mahomes, and what a pickup when they grabbed him week 7 or 8 after New England let him go. Antonio Pierce, the head coach, coached this guy in high school, at Long Beach Poly, and at Arizona State. And boy, what a great decision to bring him in.
You're not kidding. 2 touchdowns in 7 seconds.
Wow, and that's their 13th in the last 6.5 games under Antonio Pierce. They are getting the football on defense.
2 defensive touchdowns in 7 seconds. They're going to go for 2.
Wow, what just happened?
It's just, hey, if you stepped away to go back and open them one more gift about 2 minutes ago, you missed an incredible sequence of events here.
Yeah.
Unlike anything I've seen. Now going for 2.
It's a huge 2-point conversion here. I mean, you're lucky for the Chiefs to stay within 1 score and a 2-point if you could stop them.
They fake the snap to the quarterback, go to the up back, and it is he across? As Brandon Bolden has the football. Yes, it is. He's got the 2.
Great creativity there. Bo Hardigree, last week, he did the same thing a little differently, but he went Wildcat with Bolden, and this is a new way to do Wildcat. And what a great extra effort. That was, ooh.
I think he's across.
I think so too, but it was close.
Bolden, the former Patriot, gets the 2 and the turnovers. Well, as the football follies come to life. And then this for Jack Jones.
And watch him stare down
last week. Yeah,
stare down Mahomes coming in, saying, "I got you." That's going to fire up Mahomes. Well, look at that. Don't want to poke the bear too much.
Yeah, you got to be careful there. That's now 4 touchdowns by the Raiders defense in a very short span. They had the 2 in the second half against the Chargers, and now they got 2 in the first half against Kansas City.
And that's a well done job by Antonio Pierce and defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, because what they've been doing is getting vision on the quarterback. That way these guys could jump some of these routes. And so the defenders are looking at the QB. They're not in press as much. They're in zone and they're looking back in, off coverage. And that allows this defensive line to wreak havoc.
Here's the kick again for the touchback. Just a reminder, the Verizon halftime report will be coming up shortly. Merry Christmas to all the gang, to you, Phil, and JB, Coach, Boomer. The Verizon halftime report. Well, there was a quote that got a lot of play this week from Jack Jones. He was talking about Mahomes, and he says, Patrick Mahomes, you got to stop the magician. You stop the magician, then the act is over. It was everywhere.
I know. Once again, it's a long game.
You got to be careful.
You got to be careful.
And now is Jones mixing it up.
You can see, though, the Raiders, look at Pierce. Come on. Get back. He said, good job.
Get back
Keep
before
poised.
you get thrown out and your act is over today.
You got to remember, he knew him since he was a kid. Antonio Pierce coached him in high school.
Yeah.
Jones, people thought it was a little disciplinary issues in New England. Part of what maybe it was a release. Boy, the Raiders were ready this week.
Jones is going to stay on the field.
It's going to be a timeout by the Raiders.
Yes. And Tracy, down to you.
Jim, no surprise we're seeing the chippiness out here and this energy specifically from the Raiders team. Antonio Pierce told us his message to the team coming into this game had to do with hatred and violence and pain. He told them enough is enough. They haven't beaten the Chiefs since 2020. They believe today could be different. And Pierce did tell us this will be a violent game. He believes the Chiefs are tired, they're frustrated, and they could take advantage of that. And so far, we're seeing it.
Yep, they definitely look just like that.
It's a great point, Tracy. Just the Chiefs have played so much football, right? Always late into January, into February.
The pass to Rice. Tries to turn the corner. He's got 9. Yeah, it's a team that one part of it is you feel like they're just waiting to get to the postseason.
Yes.
Because they know how to like maybe turn it on once they get there. But it has been a sluggish season for them.
Absolutely. It's been challenging. Everything's been difficult. Looks tougher than it has in the past. And a lot of that, teams are gearing up for you, and they're going to get their roster to try and beat you, and they're creating coverages for you. And now all of a sudden you're seeing they're going to have to reinvent themselves a little bit.
2nd and 1. Open. It's Watson. Got the first down at the 43. Wrestled down by Robertson. This Kansas City team would like to take this all the way down into the maybe seconds to go in the first half. They're the best in the league in scoring in the last 2 minutes of the first half, with 81 points in those last 2 minutes of the first half, having given up only 10. Time when they excel. Pacheco. Gets hammered and still fights for that second effort, an extra yard, battling and butting heads with Spillane.
Yeah, this will be a huge drive, just like you talked about, because Chiefs started off with the football. And if you don't get points here, the Raiders will get that ball back in the second half, as well as possibly a chance here if they get 2 more plays and out. It's so hard to stop Mahomes, though, when you give him almost like 4 downs, you know, where you know he's going to throw the ball 3 times mostly. You know, they'll run it once or twice on this drive.
He's got a 2nd and 5.
Going to use a timeout here because
they're running out on the play clock. Yeah,
it's a good front by the Raiders, giving them everyone up.
We're back at 30 after this from AWS. Has a record, a winning record in his career when he's down double digits.
Oh, that's impossible.
Crazy.
Oh, wow. That's why you don't poke the bear.
Right.
He turns it up, and he hadn't used his legs as much in the last 3-4 weeks like he did earlier in the year in key down distance. I expect him to do that more today.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
Right here.
There you go. Oh, he flings it at the last moment, and he almost got intercepted by Robertson. Incomplete.
And this is the area with these receivers. Mahomes gets out of the pocket, and there's so much room in the middle. Rice kind of hung around, and this really could have been intercepted. Great opportunity for Robertson, and that could have put Kansas City in a huge hole.
The yardage was there if he wanted to run.
He could have ran, but right here, this is a touchdown almost play. If Rice could feel the zone area that was wide open, he kind of hung in between the defenders, and that's where they're not on the same page consistently with these young receivers.
Here's a 3rd and 5. After him, and he just throws it away. They knock him down again. This time again, Crosby.
Well, it's just a really great defensive plan, having 2 spy kind of rat players inside, and Mahomes has nowhere to go with this. As Kuntz, who's really come on. You see 51 there. We know about Crosby, but I think this is a 2-headed monster now. Kuntz looked outstanding last week in their game and gets off the ball so fast.
Kuntz, a 3rd-year player who is really... Oh, look, a fake! Got a fake! And did he make the catch in bounds? Wow! Yes, they say yes. It was Watson. Tommy Townsend. Oh, boy.
And it wasn't even really open. It was great defense. But what a throw and a catch. Hang on to that ball.
That's a catch. Justin Watson with a sliding catch from the pass from the punter.
25-yard out with a guy, defender, with a huge moment in this game, and the crowd, you just got them right back into the game. The energy, the emotion, that changes everything.
Dave Tobe, the special teams coach, dialed it up at the right time as Mahomes, with a flag down, has Nichols after him.
He's going to have to use his legs today like that, Jim. I really believe that's the one area that he can disrupt this defense.
Philippe Blakeman will make the call here.
I think they're wondering if the Chiefs got set or not. Illegal motion, most likely.
There are 2 fouls against each team. Oh, excuse me, there's a foul against each team on the play. Illegal shift, number 81, did not get reset prior to the snap. Holding defense, number 5. Those penalties offset, and we'll replay 1st down. And this is the 2-minute warning.
All right, they'll play it over. That down. Tommy Townsend, maybe he gave them the little momentum jolt they needed. You're watching the NFL on CBS. And a 1st down for the Chiefs. Not without a little drama during that 2-minute warning. We'll tell you about it in a minute as they go out of the backfield to Pacheco, and nice tackle by Robertson, twisting him down for no gain.
Great job keeping your leverage, knowing where your help's coming from.
They're going hurry up.
Yep. You got one timeout, under 2 minutes. You got a ton of time, but make sure everyone's set. Right here, get set. Who's on the ball, who's not.
Patrick, cleanest the pocket's been all day. Gets it over to Kelsey. Turns it upfield. He's got 7. Hobbs on the tackle. This is Kelsey after the fake punt. Right around that time, he threw his helmet on the sideline. And then he was out for a play. And he had a little discussion with his coach, and Mahomes came over to find out what was going on during the 2-minute warning, why Travis wasn't on the field.
Frustration. They didn't think he didn't think they were getting the first down on the throw by the high school quarterback Tommy Townsend.
Takes its second timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Timeout Raiders. Again, the Verizon halftime report is coming up with all the analysis from our crew in the studio coming up on the Verizon halftime report. So here you go. Take us through this, Tony.
Well, you can see Andy Reid is talking. There's the helmet. Andy Reid's like, no, don't give him his helmet. Don't give him his helmet. He doesn't deserve it. He wants to launch it like that. And he goes, Travis, come on now. You're one of the leaders of this team. Come on, big guy. Let's get going. He's like, all right, I got you, coach. Patrick, same thing.
So he got back on the field, caught a pass on the very next play. 3rd and 3. Coming after him again.
Oh, Houdini.
What an escape. And he gets it to Watson for the first.
You talked about the magician. What was your line before? If you take
that was Jack Jones.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, you take away, you stop the magician, the act is over.
It ain't over yet.
No, it's not. It's a lot of time to go.
The magic act continues. You can see this.
Kelsey.
You can see this pressure though. That's Kuntz again. He had a chip on him, and he gets right around Morris, 3rd-round pick at left tackle, and Mahomes is going to have to be Houdini and a magician today to allow his receivers to get downfield because they are getting after him quickly.
Just 24 seconds to go. Chiefs have 1 timeout.
Look at this. Watch this motion. Oh, wow.
Mahomes is going to go to Pacheco, and it's over his head.
And that was better than losing the yards. But that was interesting. Tried to pretend like they were going to throw a quick pass out there, and he was going to throw the ball.
That was interesting.
Extremely.
I don't know how many times you've ever seen anybody line up that far off the line.
Well, we had no quarterback earlier before
yeah.
Checo came back in, so
that was a touchdown play.
That's exactly right.
3rd and 10.
One guy has to be on the ball right here, of these guys.
From the pocket to Kelsey. Short of the first.
They'll take it down to 4 seconds. Take the timeout. Don't do it yet.
That play picked up 6. Hobbs ended it. Kelsey, by the way, now 4 catches for 43 yards.
He looks good. He gets that ball in his hands. I mean, he's got that Kelsey lean, I call it, where he gets that like angle and starts moving through.
That 124-yard catch and run was the most speed I've seen out of him this year. Remember, he rolled an ankle. We were there at Minnesota. And, I mean, somehow he came back and played in the second half there. And I'm sure that took a long time for that to go away.
Yeah, he's old. It takes a lot longer for us. But the funny part is he plays like he's young, and he's so dynamic. When fully healthy, he easily still has that juice.
So Butker from 36 yards with Tommy Townsend, the rocket-armed holder and punter, puts it down, and that kick, it's no good. He missed his first of the season last week. at New England. Now he's missed this one.
Wow. The emotional swings of this game.
There's been some bizarre things happening here.
The wind is swirling. It's been a Charlie Brown football day.
The wind actually was moving in the other direction. It would have shoved it, you would have thought, to the right, because it's about 20 left to right. And now one little kneel down, and we're at halftime.
Wow, they don't boo very often here in Kansas City.
Talk about a magician. They like to call David Copperfield and have this first half disappear. Come back and start anew. First half highlights from Verizon are coming up, and a word from your local station. Vegas up 17-7. The Chiefs, the lowest total, minus 18 yards in a first quarter since 2004.
You got to give this Raiders defense a ton of credit. I mean, obviously the 2 scores, but also making life very difficult on Patrick Mahomes. He's going to have to utilize his legs in this half, Jim, extend plays, and really, they're not going to be able to do the 12-play drives. They're going to have to take some shots, and that's how they're going to create, the scoring opportunities, in my opinion, against the way this defense is aggressively coming downhill.
One noticeable thing for the Raiders under the command of Antonio Pierce is they have been a better second half team. And we talked to him yesterday about how he's been able to kind of reset his team. More on that coming up.
It's unique, right? Coming out of halftime.
Here's a first down give. And a gain of 4. Tracy had a chance to catch up with Coach Pierce.
Coach, what a wild game. Your defense with 2 touchdowns in just 7 seconds to break this one a little open. What was the message, though, to your team in terms of trying to keep the foot on the gas?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about all week. Now it's got to squeeze. Now we got to squeeze him by the throat.
And then you have the ball right here to start the half. What do you need to see offensively from your team?
We need to drive. We need to get back to being physical footballers, running the ball up front. Our linemen get after. We got to stop 95.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
They run in on these first 2 plays to start the half. Zamir White's got 2 that time. Tony, he does kind of, at halftime, he does what he says is my pregame speech.
Yes, he really thought, they'd struggled coming out after halftime, and so he's got a unique way. They come out and they do calisthenics, they get all warmed up again, whereas most teams are in the locker room all the way till the end. But he also gives that halftime speech as if it's the start of the game, and I really think it's shown since he's been the coach. They've come out and played a lot better like you talked about, and they're ready to go. But nothing bigger than this one so far.
3rd and 5. They bring pressure. One-on-one coverage on Adams, and there is a flag near the 50.
Adams is the one guy. That's the one area Snead. A few too many penalties. He is one-on-one consistently, but
Pass interference, defense number 38. Molly placed in the spot of foul. First down Las Vegas.
Snead is the one guy who takes away the opposing team's top player week in, week out. But Adams in the Week 12 game was the only receiver when Snead follows him to catch more than 70, have more than 70 yards, Jim. The rest of the guys are 20, 30, 40, and O'Connell took a hit at the end of that one.
Boy, did he ever. Yeah, Adams did most of his work against the Chiefs in that first matchup early. He's got 1 catch so far in this one. 1st and 10. And again, they tried to own the line of scrimmage as they run it for the 3rd time in 4 plays coming out of the locker room.
This is a huge drive, and that penalty right there extends the drive. Whenever there's a defensive penalty, your chances go up of scoring 70%, 75%.
Again, Josh Jacobs inactive with the quad injury. They worked him out before the game, unable to go. And as Tony mentioned, he has had really good success against the Chiefs. Not available today. Here they fake, and then they go right to it. Nope, ball's deflected. That was Mike Dana, who not only made the tackle on the previous play, got a hand on that one.
They do an outstanding job. I swear Spagnuolo teaches it, but Dana's having a great year, plays inside, outside, and as of last week, they were 2nd in the NFL in tip balls at the line of scrimmage, and That shows you the instincts of this D-line and the size. Snead travels over. He's guarding Devontae Adams right here. They know it's man-to-man.
3rd and 7. O'Connell goes for the deep ball, one-on-one, and it falls incomplete. That was Watson on the coverage of Jacoby Myers.
But I thought Aiden could have taken off, but he takes the one-on-one shot downfield, and great job by Watson keeping the leverage inside, and Myers almost makes a miraculous catch over the shoulder.
Yeah, Watson.
Great defense there.
Jalen Watson got his hand in there to knock it away. Excellent coverage, and that forces the punt.
Oh, that's our handshake. We gotta come up with a cool one.
Dispensing with the hug.
All right, you're out. I am too. No handshake.
Oh, he got another flag thrown. Say the ball went out of bounds at about the 13. Anxious to see what the Chiefs offense comes out with in the 3rd quarter.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 2. At least half the distance to the goal line from the end of the kick. First down.
It'll be a long field. Joshua Williams.
Timeout.
Flag for that. A little more. Brenda Lee brought us on the air today.
Rocking around Nance's tree, it's a Christmas hop.
HA Field at Arrowhead here in Kansas City, the 3rd oldest stadium in the NFL, behind Soldier Field and Lambeau Field. Yeah, we had suggested maybe too much eggnog, all those things that gone against the Chiefs. Let's see if it's a different story in the second half. It's Next Gen Stats time, powered by AWS.
Well, the difference between the last time they played, where Mahomes had almost 80% completion percentage, has been the pressure that the Raiders have created on Patrick, and right now making life very disruptive for him, and they're going to have to figure out a way to get some help on these guys. They cannot just go back, and their screen game has to get going, Jim. Not well enough in the first half for one of the best screen teams in the league.
2nd and 7. In trouble. Dancing around. And they push him out behind the line. Well, look out.
Surprised they didn't throw that one. Flag, that is.
That's Coons who pushed him out for a loss of 1. That'll go as a sack.
Boy, that was a long time. The defense, they had everybody covered on the back end, and this is the complementary football. Look at the rush lanes. They do a great job of keeping contained and making him extend sideways, not being able to step up and get out. You're going to have to go outside the back end.
Now they face a 3rd and 8. We detailed in the first half how successful they are on 3rd and distances like this. Just can't find anyone open. So he's going to use his legs. And they're all going to collapse on him about 4 yards short of the first, including Diablo.
You can see how tired he is having to move around back there over and over again. He's like, pick me up fully. I don't want to do anything.
Got a flag on the far side, Tony, at the line of scrimmage.
Huge calls on these 3rd and medium and longs. Just a simple hand to the face of a receiver or something gives you first.
Defense number 39. The 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Those are huge calls. You could do everything right, but if one guy just grabs a little piece of a jersey or puts a hand in someone's face mask. Kelsey right here. Oh, I don't know. You're calling that on Hobbs right there, but I didn't really see. I mean, he got his hands in there, but I didn't see much of a hold, and it was not very far downfield.
No, it wasn't. It was early, and it was not that long of a hold if it was one. 1st and 10 from the 21. Again, he just keeps looking for options, finds one, and that's Ross. for just a yard.
So they're on the naughty list?
That's what Santa says.
Patrick's going to have to figure something out. You see the rush lanes? They're not allowing him to use it. There's a screen game I was talking about.
There's Rice. He's a yard short. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Spillane brought him down. Gain of 7.
If you're going to release all 5 guys, you're going to need to get the screen game. And watch at the end of this, Jim, just a little holding on to his leg there.
Yeah.
The bottom Crosby.
By the way, you can't put him on the naughty list. It's the entire offense.
Oh, no, it's not Mahomes. I think we know that. I mean, all the shift in motion right now, trying to figure out what the defense is in man or zone.
It's 3rd and 1. And it's Pacheco. That second effort of his, I'm not sure it was enough.
It's huge because it's going to be hard to go for it on your side of the field all the way back here if you didn't get it, and it looks like he is short.
Yeah.
Kansas City struggled on these 3rd and shorts for all those years, you know, and now that they have Pacheco and the interior line, they've gotten a lot better, but boy, did the Raiders disrupt that right in the middle, and he's going for it right now.
Wow, at his own 30-yard line.
I like it.
Or he's going to try to draw him off.
I think they're going for it. Obviously, you can still try and draw them off sides right here. Quick motion.
4th and 1.
Nope, didn't get the play in time. Took too long to decide whether to go for it, I feel like, for a play that needed motion.
He ended up taking a timeout.
Well, now you better go for it.
Yeah, if you're going to go ahead and burn a timeout. Well, New Year's Eve, we're going to be back here in Kansas City with Cincinnati and the Chiefs. And then that night, New Year's Eve, join Blake Shelton, Lainey Wilson, Leonard Skinner, and more for America's biggest party. New Year's Eve live, Nashville's Big Bash, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
I know you love Nashville.
I love it. Why don't you come and join me for the Big Bash?
Okay, my wife said yes.
Okay, we're in. 4th and 1, here we go. Keeping it. Not the first down with yardage to spare.
Oh, and took a wicked shot at the end by Crosby. What a big-time play by Mahomes. We talked about it. He's going to have to use his legs and extend plays for them to win this football game, Jim. They're just too dominant up front.
Well, we were saying it was a little gimpy from a couple of plays ago, but they still ride the legs of Mahomes on a critical 4th and 1 from their own 30 to convert.
Great job by Andy Reid giving the two-way option, right, to throw the ball or use his legs.
To the ground again. Pacheco. Boy, his helmet comes off. That's Spillane on the tackle.
Boy, that was a great tackle. Spillane playing really good football.
He's like a whole new player since coming over from Pittsburgh. He's had all these important interceptions on the season. He's had 3 picks total.
Tackles.
Yeah.
Great pickup, and he's taken off. He was very solid, very good there too, I think, Jim. But like you said, he has taken off, found a home here.
And a leadership role.
Yep.
2nd and 8. Mahomes going to use his legs again, and he's got another first down. He was able to get away from Tyree Wilson, and that's 2 first downs he's been able to pick up by running the football.
Yeah, and he's tired, banged up right here. He is willing his team back into this. I mean, he almost created the pressure himself by moving up quickly because of what's happened all day, people around him, but he knows how important this drive is. Down 2 scores right now. You don't want to give the ball back without getting some points in this drive. And like I said, that determination, competitiveness, he has it all.
Edwards-Helaire gets the handoff. And they're going to the ground on this drive, including with their quarterback who leads them in rushing with 6 carries for 35.
I mean, you had to hand it off there. I feel like he's exhausted right there. That is a lot. To use your legs consistently, move around, and then take the hits at the end, come back.
I think they missed Jerick McKinnon in the passing game, who had to go on IR this week with a groin injury.
I think you're exactly right. I mean, his ability to block and then on top of it, get out and just get those quick little ones. I mean, that's a great point, Jim.
2nd and 6. Again, another carry by Edwards-Helaire. Raiders are on him quickly. This time it's Diablo. And now you'll have a 3rd down and 5 maybe coming up.
Well, the
3rd down and 5 at the 43-yard line.
Raiders did not pressure much, which allowed Mahomes in their earlier meeting to have one of his best completion percentage games today, completely different. And these guys on defense, see how they're all looking at the quarterback? A lot of these guys, they have all vision on them, and they can flow quickly.
Pass quick. Nope, it's not there. It's Rice who was trying to find. And now you got 4th and 5.
And that's continually has happened this year, where it's just simple. Right there, turn. You don't run toward a defender when they're in zone. You find the soft spot, and Mahomes knows where it's supposed to be. Just get your eyes around earlier. Just get your eyes. You don't have to run a perfect route. And these young receivers, that comes up too much on tape.
And they're going for it.
I would too.
Kelsey on the far side. Chiefs have already converted 2 for 2 on 4th down in this game.
A lot of guys down by the line of scrimmage here. If you're coming after Mahomes, this is the time.
Here they come. He gets it away. Down the field it goes. And there is a flag at the 30-yard line. Robertson was on Rice.
This is a huge call. This might be on the offense. They're talking about it, even though it looked like it was defense.
Pass interference, offense,
Oh.
number 87. That penalty's declined. Brings up 1st down for Las Vegas.
Good call, Tony. You saw it, huh?
I did. I think it's mostly in the beginning he tried to pick. So you're trying to create for somebody. See that right there? It has to be incidental. That's why they called it.
Vegas football. Getting the ball on downs. Raiders defense makes a stand. Now Aiden O'Connell and company take over with a little pass, incomplete. Intended for Hooper.
Boy, these quarterbacks to win. Oh, wow.
Hey, it's Nickmas, this game being shown on Nickelodeon. We got slime before the game. Noah Eagle, Nate Burleson, Dylan Schefter, and from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Raphael and Donatello. I think there's been, based on all the fumbles and bobbles and everything, I think there's been some slime on the football today, too.
It does look like it.
Finally, we were able to get all that off of us before we came on the air at the start of the broadcast.
Took me a while.
Took a while, man.
Tell you what, Casey got slimed.
Nothing like getting slimed on Christmas. 2nd and 10. And Zamir White has 4. You know, since the start of the 2nd quarter, the Raiders have now like 29 yards of offense and 14 points. Thanks to their defense.
It's true. Their second half on offense has not been great. You know, O'Connell, once the defense starts to understand what they're doing, has done a really good job of slowing down this offense over the last month or two. And right now, I feel like this is one of the biggest drives of his young career. They're still in playoff contention. Antonio Pierce is kind of coaching for his job.
Here's a 3rd and 6. In trouble. Walked into it. O'Menahue was there waiting for him. Tried to dodge one hit, stepped into the arms of Charles O'Menahue.
What an outstanding job by Snead on Adams. I want you to watch right here. Watch the physicalness at the line of scrimmage, not allowing, that disrupts all the timing. And that allows the defensive lineman to get around the quarterback and make him hold it. Outstanding by O'Menahue and this defensive front. And this is why they can win games in the playoffs. They've given up 2 offensive scores today. This defense has only given up 3 points.
Big defensive stand by Spags and his squad as James weaves and falls at the 19. As we're inside 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 49-yard punt. Mahomes and the Chiefs down 10. This drive at the 19. Coming after Mahomes. Able to dodge one hit, but not that one. Sacked for yet another time as the flags fly. It's Coons who got to him.
This is why these guys are so dynamic right now. These edge rushers are unblockable.
Now you're going to decline it, right?
Offense number 74. Penalties decline. Brings up second down.
That's the 5th sack. I'll make that 4 sacks. Let's go to Tracy.
Well, Jim, you mentioned it, another hit on Patrick Mahomes, and watching him down on the sideline all game and all drive, he has just been running for his life, trying to avoid Crosby, trying to make something happen, getting knocked out of bounds down here, and I can tell you, he did get up gimpy on that last drive, but he is completely exhausted, leaving it all out there.
He's able to get this pass away, Trace. Good insight. As again, Pacheco. This time he gets kicked in the head.
No.
The helmet comes off for the 2nd time in this quarter.
Oh, man. I saw that, Jim, and it went right back into somebody else. And this is such a physical sport. And then when your helmet's off, you're such in a position to get hurt. Right here, watch this at the end. Boom. Oh, no.
And he got again twice. Got hit on the top of the head, and the foot came swiping across the forehead.
And he just came back, too.
3rd and 9.
You got to watch out for this D-line now, Jim. Kuntz has multiple sacks today already, and we know about Crosby.
He's got 3 sacks to keep the pocket clean, but nothing is there. No one's open.
Wow, everything was swallowed up. This is where I talk about complementary football. Mahomes is definitely feeling the pressure because of what's happened all day. He had a little bit more time here at that moment, but once you get around a quarterback early in the game, over and over and over again, he starts to feel that that's going to continue to happen, and you can't sit there and look at the rush. You have that 6th sense, but right now they have really disrupted Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, this kick off the side of the foot.
Oh, it's a shank.
Townsend.
A lot of Charlie Brown stuff today.
His pass went farther than that punt. They're going to mark it at the Kansas City 45 right here.
Oh.
And then the shank punt. Townsend in disbelief.
This should be a Halloween game for all the spookiness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a Christmas game, is it? It should be happy, joyful, cheery.
White for about 6. There's about 70,000 people that aren't feeling that vibe right now that you talked about. Cheery and joyful.
This is a huge moment in the playoff picture. For the people who don't know out there, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes has never played a road playoff game. He's never had to go on the road to try and make it to the Super Bowl, and I think that's going to happen this year, Jim.
Well, if they lose here to go to 9-6, granted, Baltimore tonight plays at San Francisco, but there'll be, at this point before that kickoff tonight, there'll be, if they lose, 3 games down in the loss column to the Ravens, with only 3 games for the Ravens to play and 2 more for the Chiefs. We got an injury timeout. His leg and ankle got twisted on that tackle.
The bottom there, and that is huge. Follows the top wide receiver for each team, has had quite the day today. Going up against Adams and holding him to 1 reception for 4 yards.
It's a 2nd and 4.
You're going to have to now give him help over here. This safety's going to have to help out.
Up the middle, and within a yard of the first. Noddy rides him down.
This is the cat and mouse game. That safety, you run to that side, Jim, because you know that safety on that side can't come down. He's going to have to double team or help out the corner. And here he comes.
How about that?
Wow, that's huge.
Snead back in for Jalen Watson, and we got a 3rd and a long yard to go.
This is 4-down territory for me if I'm the Raiders.
Trying to take it outside, cutting back, and there he goes for the 1st down. And White, an impressive run.
I can't believe the guts on this play call. I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, on short yardage, you got like a 10-yard deep running back. And I'm like, how are you going to get a yard when you're that deep? And it was a slow developing play, but it was a perfect play call to run the power and wash everything inside and get outside.
Vegas had been 0 for its last 5 on 3rd down. They got one there. 16-yard pickup. White now 14 for 70. You got Snead back on Adams at the bottom. And a new set of downs as White meets Reed at the line of scrimmage. Aiden O'Connell has not completed a pass since the first quarter.
I know, I was just looking. It's like he's got 62 yards, 9 for 18. But he's playing the game based on the score right now and what the environment and the situational aspect of this. I mean, it's still correct with how it's going because he hasn't given him the ball. And that's the most important thing. Mahomes has the 2 turnovers, and that's the difference in the game so far. I do believe at some point, though, for you to beat Mahomes at GEHA Field,
good job.
You're going to have to make a big-time throw.
Here. Can he get his first completion in a long while? No. It's been an hour and 53 minutes, by the way.
Wow. But everything's covered. I mean, no one's open there, and that's that's a winning play. You have points here.
It's Jones and it's Karlaftis. Oh, that's Jones. Got knocked down. Karlaftis put the pressure on his old Purdue teammate. They're good pals. Now 3rd and 10 in this physical rivalry game.
This is where turnovers can happen right here for a young player.
Incomplete at the 10-yard line. He was looking for Adams, and Snead hobbled off a few minutes ago, went in the tent for a minute or two, and then provided great coverage on Devontae.
This was a great route. The ball's behind him. Watch the right side here. If he'd have looked to the right, go ahead and run that. Myers was going to have possible touchdown. That was going to be an easy first down. Sometimes you just look to the incorrect side.
Daniel Carlson made one from 24 in the first quarter. This from 35. Carlson's kick is good, and the Raiders go up 13 with 24 seconds to go in the
on that slant and a couple of throws. But you got to protect the football. You give that like emotional lift and turn the ball over, it's very easy all of a sudden for Kansas City to get back. You can rely on this defense. They've played outstanding today. Outside of that one trick play, to Pacheco, it's been really tough sledding for Mahomes in this offense for Kansas City.
Here's a kick. It's not going to be deep. It's going to give James a chance to run it. He's had a couple nice returns. This one only to the 23. Down to Tracy.
Jim, we saw Isaiah Pacheco get kicked in the head when his helmet popped off. He is right now in the locker room being evaluated for a head injury.
Oh.
Now, why would a player's helmet come off twice in the same quarter? That's the mystery.
Yeah, you got to.
So let's see, he didn't have his chin strapped, buckled.
No, he's got a lot of hair.
Okay.
So it's like hard to get it fit perfectly, but get a ski instructor and find a way to put the helmet on correctly. It happens. It's a very physical sport, Jim. Things get flying around.
1st and 10. Mahomes open as Rice. He's got about 7 with that catch. Final seconds of the 3rd.
He really needs to step up right now. He's had a few miscues right now. I feel like him or Watson is going to have to make a big play.
Christmas in Kansas City. We're going to the 4th. It's been a somber day for the Chief Faithful so far. 62 yards for O'Connell. Mahomes 118 and a pick. 2nd and 3. Takes it back to Rice. 2 straight plays to Rice, and he makes a great effort to pick up additional yardage out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, this is a great play call. Good job by Rice getting his head back and then extending and finishing the play. He helps on the edge on Kuntz. And then really the extra. He's got great run after catch rack ability.
Trying to find a little something going with up-tempo now as Mahomes gets flushed out of the pocket. He's going to run and fall after a pickup of about 7.
Oh, I thought he was just going to take a big shot there, but those instincts, and he's hurrying up. He knows the sense of urgency for this game and in a lot of ways, Jim, for them to have a shot at the 1 seed, because they are eliminated if they lose today.
That's
correct?
right. Here's the pass complete for another first down, and that's Noah Gray. Ethan Cooperson, who monitors all those probabilities, has confirmed that if the Chiefs lose, they cannot pick up the 1 seed this year.
That almost guarantees the first road game.
And again, they need a win today to win the division. And meanwhile, Pierce and the Raiders, they could actually win the division if they were to win today and win their next 2 against the Colts and the Broncos, and the Chiefs lose their last 2 to the Bengals and the Chargers. There's a 1st and 10. Running again. Been a common theme for him today.
Oh, my goodness.
Was that intercepted?
I think it was, Jim.
My goodness. Off the ground with it. Merrick has the football.
The receivers just stopped. I mean, Valdez-Scantling just kind of slowly runs around. He's got to keep moving. And he just slowly moved over there and brought his defender. And that's who ends up intercepting it.
One of the plays, an interception by the defense.
Yeah, they're going to look at this one very closely.
There you see, he's on Scantling, and Scantling's kind of just slowly going. And that allows Merrick to get all the way over there and get in front.
Is under review.
Did this play hit this ball hit the ground? He's trying to hit Gray.
We're going to see, right? Hard to tell there, Jim.
Yeah, it looked like to me it bounced off the ground. Under review.
What did they say?
Ruled incomplete, Gene.
Yeah, I think it's a good call. You can see right there, Jim, with a great shot by our first down marker, Cam. Right there, the ball rolls off of that left forearm, hits the ground before he can get his right hand around to secure it. Here's another look where you see that football just hit the ground, and then he pulls it back up. That's the ground aiding him in making that interception.
And the Chiefs now make something of that break as Mahomes looks around, and again, he's running, trying to get away from trouble, gets it to Edwards-Helaire, and he's going to have a 3rd and 1 coming up.
What a huge break for the Chiefs on that call right there. Mahomes, who already threw his 14th interception, which is a career high earlier in the game, almost had his 15th. And that gives the Chief faithful a little bit of hope right here.
It has been a challenge all day long for the Chiefs offense.
Their
They
pass
just
rush
reached
lanes.
200 yards with that last play. Wow. 200 yards here in the 4th quarter.
Mahomes hasn't even hit 140 yards passing yet.
3rd and 1.
4 down territory here. I would run the football.
Going to try to go up top. Flushed out. Going to run again. Been a big theme here in the 2nd half for the quarterback. He's got a 1st down. Picks up 7.
You asked me what the key was in the 2nd half. It's going to be his legs, the screen game, and the one shot at the right moment down the field when he extends with his legs, but he's going to have to use these. The rush lane discipline on this Raiders team has been outstanding. That's one of the rare times they let him step up and move forward.
Handoff, Edwards-Helaire. And he got flagged down.
That'll be on Morris, 64, I believe.
Holding. Offense number 64. The 10-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
They like the look of the rookie who got flagged there, the rookie out of Oklahoma, Wanye Morris, who's been seeing this time with Donovan Smith out with that ongoing neck injury. Here's the hold.
Well, and he's done a really good job. Kind of a mauler in the run game, and right there, you got to let go of that hand right at the point where the running back's going by you. But I do like running it at Kuntz. He's a little bit more undersized than Crosby.
We got a new back in. LaMichael Pirine comes in. Just brought up this week as Mahomes somehow gets away. And lands awkwardly, but picks up a yard or 2, avoids the sack. Tackled down by Max Crosby, who continues to chase.
Watch this discipline. Outside by the end, and then the tackle comes underneath. Now Mahomes makes him miss, and he's just that talented as Crosby comes bearing down. But this is a concerted effort by this D line, and they are so disciplined in their rush lanes, Jim. They are so good at getting outside of these tackles and forcing Mahomes to move right up into the defensive tackle.
2nd and 17. Set up a screen for Edwards-Helaire. Contact on him at the 38. He's able to break it! And shoved out of bounds at the 10-yard line. He got away from Nate Hobbs, which would have only produced about a 2-yard gain. And he turns it into a big one.
Mahomes' legs and the screen game. And this is a huge missed tackle. Hobbs has had a great game. Lets that one go and gives life to this Chiefs team. What a great job of using lower body strength by Edwards-Helaire.
That goes for the longest play of the game, 32 yards. To Kelsey, he drops it. He wouldn't have gained anything, would have lost yardage anyway. Jack Jones was on him.
I mean, Jack Jones knew this play was coming. He absolutely shot the gap right away. Last week, he actually picked off a receiver screen.
That was
Very
some catch.
similar. Oh,
Yeah.
and we know about the pick 6 today.
Chiefs right guard, we're hearing from Tracy. Trey Smith has gone into the blue tent.
Wow, that's huge. That's the strength of this O-line, is the interior 3. And
Yep. Nick Allegretti comes in for him. 73. 2nd and goal.
you've got one-on-one right now up top. You need help.
Quickly to Kelsey. And again, it was a bobble. And fighting like crazy. Pick up a couple of yards. That's his first catch of the half. His 5th catch of the game.
Wow, that should have been a loss of 2. And this has been it's a great example today of what we've seen on tape by this Raiders defense. When they see something, remember I talked about their vision on the quarterback. Antonio Pierce has allowed them to go. Trust your instincts and go right away. And we just saw it on the last 2 plays. They are flying to the ball quickly.
3rd and goal, down 13, inside 10 minutes.
He's running over with Kelsey.
Timeout called by Las Vegas. Coming up after the game, the State Farm postgame show. JB and all the crew. The latest NFL news and highlights from our game coming up on the State Farm postgame show. You know, you talk about Max Crosby. He finished off that last play when Kelsey was just fighting through tackles. And Crosby was talking about this chance to play on Christmas Day, and he said, I love it, man. I train all year for games like this. And his coach, we heard him yesterday, Coach Pierce says, our guy is the most dominated defensive player he's seen this year. Thinks he should be getting Defensive Player of the Year consideration.
He absolutely should be. He's right there. There's 2 or 3 guys, and he's right there. This is possible 4-down territory if you can get a couple yards.
Mahomes on 3rd and goal. Steps up, flings it. Incomplete. What a hit. That's an incompletion. As it was Robertson who knocked the ball out of Rice's hands. Now they have a big call here. They're going to go for on 4th and goal from the 7.
These young defensive backs, I don't think they have anybody over their 4th year in the league, and they're flying. They trust this defensive front to get there, and they come downhill. And Patrick Mahomes, if you want a shot at the #1 seed, you're going to need to do some my homie here.
Yeah.
You're my homie, Jim.
Thank you. I'll take the title. Here is this critical 4th and goal to the end zone, and no flag. Hobbs on the coverage of Rice.
Hobbs with great coverage at the top, gets his hands on him earlier, disrupts the timing, and Rice doesn't explode out, and the Raiders with as big a stop as they've had all season, Jim, on Christmas Day.
Up the Chiefs on 4th down in their own territory, and now taking over with just 9:47 to go and a 13-point lead. They hand it off to White.
What a call.
Picks up 7.
This is a moment where you're down. It's about as loud as it can get is in the opposing team's end zone there. So take the pressure off the quarterback and hand it off.
Tracy?
Jim, to make matters worse for this Chiefs offense, they are now going to be without Isaiah Pacheco for the rest of this game. He is officially in the locker room out with a concussion.
Out after getting, again, his helmet taken off. Came off on the tackle and then got kicked in the head by one of his own teammates.
And without McKinnon, like you talked about.
We'll go back to White. We're waiting for him. That was Mike Pinnell who had him. He's back up on the roster.
His defense has played outstanding today. I mean, the 2 offensive touchdowns given up has only happened to Andy Reid twice in his career, once in 2012.
Yeah, in 400 games in his career. And seconds apart was what made it so strange even more. Use every second of this they can. Raiders got 3rd down coming, 3rd and 5.
This is a monster play. Can't give it right back to Mahomes. He's bound to get going at some point.
Stay on the ground. Oh my goodness, they got the first. Tackled by Edwards, but it was Abdullah who was able to race for the marker.
Well, it's just, look at this. There's 3 O-linemen and 3 defenders on that side. But usually the back doesn't go all the way back the other way. What a great play call. I'm impressed by Bo Hardigree. I mean, that, you had the numbers, you had the leverage, but the back being offset one way makes you overload the other side. That was genius.
Well, bought themselves at least 3 more downs and probably at least another minute and a half. They stay on the ground.
They're going to.
There's White. Oh, I can't say enough about this second-year player out of Georgia who used to platoon at Athens, Georgia with James Cook. We got an injured player. Illuminor, the right tackle, shaken up.
And the Raiders have kind of controlled that line of scrimmage a little bit today. It's been a great battle back and forth, but they have been able to kind of run the ball. And you talked about it, White with 18 attempts, 78 yards.
We'll take a timeout. Illuminor is being helped off the side to the sidelines. Oh, good. He's able to at least go into a little jog. 7th-year player from Texas A&M.
Boy, that's a good sign right there. I don't even jog that well anymore.
Ever, if ever.
I mean, that's a good point, too.
Go ahead and get the clock running with a 2nd and 7 coming in.
You want to keep this clock going, so you want to screen, run the football as well, but you know that Kansas City knows that. So if you were going to take an aggressive approach at any time, Kelsey knows this would be that time to use the defense all being down in there against them, play action, and you might be able to sneak someone across and get wide open.
And stay on the ground. And they'll pick up 3 more.
And because they ran the ball on the previous 3rd and medium, you give yourself another opportunity defensively. Now you got to be prepared for that, which allows, you know, the blitzing concepts, overloads to be less.
Well, you've talked numerous times about how big this is for Pierce and his future, how big this is for a rookie quarterback. He's also trying to show them that he can make big plays in pressure situations or manage a game in Aiden O'Connell.
And you're exactly right. This is it. You can almost win this game right here if you make a big throw.
3rd and 4. Oh, and it's knocked down. Incomplete. Trying to hit Renfro. Watson defending the pass.
Watson's had a couple of big-time disruptive defensive plays, and this was bang, bang. Perfectly thrown ball, but Watson with great defense on that play gives the Chiefs a chance. That would have taken us below 5 or 4 minutes, making life very difficult on Mahomes. Right now, you have an opportunity, a chance, if you can get down there quickly.
The Chiefs in the last 8 matchups against the Raiders have scored at least 30 points. They have 7 today. James comes up, gets it at the 32, and is knocked back a yard. You know, we were talking earlier about Mahomes and what these quarterbacks do.
And that is the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh.
But he's trying to create that legacy on his own and to go in here and beat the Chiefs today.
12-man defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Of course, O'Connell's wife is up in Indiana with her parents, Steve and Lisa, celebrating the holidays, and I'm sure nervous as can be right now. Trying to see if the Raiders can hold on with 6 minutes to go.
He did throw a perfect ball in the last one. Just great defense. I think this needs to be to Kelsey a little bit here on this drive.
1st and 5. This has been really what we've seen all day long. Just can't find anyone open. Now he's going to try. Oh, he tries to fling it at the last second, and it's in. Well, there's the receiver there in MVS, so it's incomplete.
Just outstanding discipline by this Raiders defense. Everyone's keeping their leverage. Mahomes was scrambling to the right by that point when Kelsey got out. But they just pass it off to the next guy. Pass it off to the next guy.
I mean, seeing Patrick constantly running around trying to escape. I mean, this really speaks to the coverage down the field.
It really does. And then on top of the discipline, he's used to stepping up when you get edge rushers coming wide, and they're not allowing that today. When he steps up, the tackles are right there.
2nd and 5, and that's going to be about a yard short of the first with Blake Bell with the grab.
And that's what you need to do against this Raider defense. Just aggressively take what they give you. Look downfield and check it down. And that's where the Chiefs have had a little success. 3rd and 1, this is obvious 4-down territory. After this, they're gonna have to pick up the pace a little bit, Jim.
This is a spot right here. As you see, the Chiefs won 11 of the last 12 where they missed Pacheco. Yep, they've got Edwards-Helaire. Does not get back to the line of scrimmage. And again, it was Crosby who made first contact.
Wow, can they stop another 4th down?
They've done it twice.
And you just said it, Pacheco, they did a good job getting out of the first tackle, but oh, Trey Smith went down again.
Tweaked a knee is what we heard earlier in this half, and got back into the game, and got a 4th and a long yard. It really looks like 4th and 2.
That stops the clock, so it kind of helps you, but you get rid of one of your best guards on a huge 4th and 1. That would eliminate me from running the football. Trey Smith being out. No one goes in motion with him. It's a zone, probably a cover 2. Use your legs or throw it quickly right in the middle.
Mahomes again can run for it, and he slides for the 1st down.
That's really intelligent by Patrick on this play, knowing if it's not there, you got to use your legs and get out. And he breaks contain and knows exactly where to get to. And now it's time to speed up, get on the ball, look for Kelsey.
Over to James. He goes out of bounds at 4:16. Again, they need 2 touchdowns. (24 of 40 for 181 yards. The Raiders, meanwhile, winning this game with 144 yards total offense.
Wow. I mean, they are playing the game that is being played today, right?
Yep.
Once you get the lead on this, you have to protect the football, not give any short fields. They've done that. They are playing to their strength, which is this defense today, making life miserable for Patrick Mahomes.
2nd and 6.
Underneath.
Got time in the pocket for once, and he's got a man open at the 35. Richie James racing with it inside the 10. Allegretti comes in to try to shove him for an extra yard, and the Chiefs are in business.
It's a simple clear out with a deep dig, and Mahomes looks off and moves the defenders. And this is where he got Spillane displaced and still need to hurry up a little bit.
That went for 45 yards. Big time play. And look, they protected him this time. He was able to stay in the pocket and find an open target.
Later in the game, the D-line usually does get a little tired. You get a little extra time.
1st and goal from the 9. Edwards-Helaire down to the 6.
They only got 2 timeouts, Jim, so you got to remember there's an automatic 40 seconds that's going to be gone at some point. They need to score this before the 2-minute warning.
Kelsey last year, when the Raiders were here, scored 4 touchdowns. He had only 25 yards receiving for the game. He scored 4 touchdowns. Had all these touchdowns at Arrowhead against the Raiders in this area.
I think there's a chance he gets one right here.
2nd and goal. Mahomes looking in zone, and ball comes out. That was Noah Gray. He was trying to find, and Merrick knocked it incomplete.
Wow, this defense so disciplined in the rush lanes, but also in the secondary of passing and knowing your leverage and your responsibility and your rules. And what a job by Merrick to get his hand in there, and that was close. Mahomes thought he had the touchdown. 4 down territory, you got 2 downs. You don't have to if there's nothing there in the end zone.
3rd and goal. Pressure from behind. Somehow got away to the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown, Justin Watson.
And I've been watching all game. Justin Watson and Kelsey have done an incredible job when Mahomes extends the play. This is the Houdini act by Mahomes to get out of this. This should have been a 3-man rush, and you're about to get a sack right there, and he gets out and then fires that ball. But that's all because Watson kept moving. That was not his initial route. He never stopped, and when you do that, you give yourself a chance for the late plays when Mahomes moves around.
Buckner now to bring him within 6. And the kick is good.
What a huge drive, Jim. You knew the Chiefs and Mahomes were going to figure something out and give him a chance, and that huge play to James down the middle put him in position.
Coons got close. And again, Patrick was able to rest free and then find Watson. .242 on the clock. Kansas City has 2 timeouts.
Yep, and that's why they'll kick it deep here. You have the 2-minute warning, so technically you got 3 timeouts. You could get this ball back with a 3-and-out before the 2-minute warning.
14 game. It took 44 passes today before Patrick threw his first touchdown.
Wow, look at that. Just past Dan Marino, who got off to as good a start as any quarterback in NFL history.
And that's in the first 100 games. This is, by the way, game 98, so he's not even at the 100-game mark. Got the record. The kick is not going to be touched. So now what will Bo Hardegree, the young offensive coordinator, what will he call with this series to try to get a first down or 2?
I would go try and win the football game. We've seen it too many times. You do not give a Patrick Mahomes, a Tom Brady the ball, a Dan Marino a chance. The easy thing is to protect, run the football. You got a young quarterback, tough environment, but he's here for a reason, Aiden.
Yep. You said Tom Brady. That's his idol. Had the chance to meet him a couple of times, but he's never had a chance to tell him just what I told you.
That I love you?
Yeah, that's it. Now Tom knows. 1st and 10. As White gets a nice run of 6.
Yeah, Luminer's back in the game. Great job right there. Staying in phase. That was a huge run. That's the one right there that either makes it really tough on the quarterback or much easier.
Timeout called by the Chiefs. They're left with 1.
And the Raiders' playoff lives are on the line today, Jim.
Yes, they are. Again, they still actually have a chance to win the division. There are still other possibilities, too, for a wild card for the Raiders. But you look at all these teams that are in the hunt. You got Kansas City trying to win the division with a victory for the 8th consecutive year if they can somehow come back and win it. And also trying to stay still in the game for the 1 seed if they win. They're out if they lose for the 1 seed. It'll be the Baltimore and Miami who meet next week.
And the 2 seed's huge, too. I mean, if you could somehow get there.
Here's a 2nd and 4, and the Raiders have a new set of downs and a whole lot more as White rips up the big run and almost lost the football. He's able to drive them all the way into field goal range if it had to come down to that.
Wow, and this defense has played outstanding, but watch, everyone's in there tight, and then the great cut by White getting outside of Bolton's leverage. And what a game he has played today. Over 130 yards, and we talked about controlling the line of scrimmage, and you could see signs of that today for the Raiders. And right there, they started to slow down, wear down this defense.
That might have been the play that won it. 43 yards And Kansas City has used its last timeout.
Wow.
White, who saw so much action in the preseason, as Josh Jacobs held out, so he got a lot of game reps, and then came on last week in the game against the Chargers, scored his first career touchdown. He's had just a monster game here on this big stage today in Kansas City.
And Hooper in Fotheringham, who's making his first appearance, 85, did an outstanding job.
Back to White. He's got another big gap. He's bouncing around to the 11-yard line.
They've worn him down, Jim.
Boy, it's showing. It's really showing.
Having to be out on that field over and over again. And right now they have just made it a big guy football game, and they have pushed around this Kansas City defense just on this drive to possibly make Mahomes go on the road.
2-minute warning. Night Swim, only in theaters January 5th. And by Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL. 2 minutes to go, Tony. First down.
It's
for
over.
The Raiders. No timeouts for the Chiefs.
It's over. They're going to down it 3 times in a row, and the Raiders should, except for the spooky ball today that's
Yes.
been very bobbly.
The Nickelodeon slime ball. Yeah.
The Raiders played the Grinch role perfectly
Big time.
and come into Kansas City, and we could feel that. They played so hard. They were physical, and they took it to the Chiefs today, who are as vulnerable as we have seen in the Mahomes era.
Such a big win for Pierce and this franchise. Again tonight on CBS begins with The Price is Right at night, followed by Mariah Carey, Merry Christmas to All. That's tonight on CBS. The Raiders about to win without scoring an offensive touchdown, without completing a pass after the first quarter, and a rookie quarterback, when matched up against Mahomes, had never won before.
Wow.
Patrick was 8-0. Not that he can control what's happening on the other side of it, but this is going to be a win for Aiden O'Connell and this Raiders team.
And great job by Antonio Pierce, who deserves, I think he should be the head coach next year. I think he's an outstanding coach. He was a great football player. He knows the game at a very high level. He communicates and he creates a culture, and you're seeing that pay dividends right now.
I can't begin to tell you. We were on a Zoom with him yesterday. We all got off, our side of it, got off the Zoom call. And every one of us said, you know what? They have a chance to win this game. Never seen a guy that delivered such a powerful message to tell us why he thought his team could come in here and win this game.
He knows the game. He knows what it takes. And he knows how to get his players ready. And boy, were they ready today. Such a disciplined football game in all 3 phases. And boy, there's never been a sweeter win for him, I can promise you as a coach, than this one today.
Andy Reid, who tried to bring him on as a linebacker coach back around COVID. He ended up going to Arizona State to join Herm Edwards and a bunch out there, Marvin Lewis. But great respect. And he grew up in Southern California, huge Raider fan. Of course, played his ball back east with Washington and the New York Giants. You knew him from back in those days. And, man, has he got this team playing.
Yes, he does. And by the way, Merry Christmas to you, big
Come on,
guy.
friend.
To you and your family.